We all have things in our home that we do not need, and today I'm going to share 20 of them. And honestly, the things I'm going to share today are, in my opinion, they're a huge waste of money, but they're also taking up a lot of space. They become clutter and they cause a lot of stress and anxiety and mess. And the things I'm going to share, most of them you actually buy and rebuy week after week. And I think a lot of people just do it because they've always done it and they think they need to continue doing it. And when you stop buying these things, not only are you going to save a lot of money, you're going to realize you actually didn't need the item in the first place. This is a part 2 to the previous video I did on this exact topic last month. So if you missed it, I'll have it linked below. And this video is in no particular order, but I will say, if you have the items that I'm going to share today and you use them and you love them and you feel like you need them, then keep on using them. Don't listen to me. These are just some ideas if you're looking to pare down and save yourself some money in the process. Okay, number 1 is something that was all the rage a few years ago, and it is the foaming hand soap. What I'm talking about are the refills, because you buy the nice soap container and then you keep on needing to buy the expensive refills. But guess what? You don't need to buy them. You can actually just buy one container of Castile soap, and I will link the one I use. It is all natural, very healthy, and you can make your own foaming hand soap. It is so much easier and so much cheaper. Literally, you just add a little of the Castile soap to water and you're done. I'll leave a recipe below, but it can't get any easier than that. I do not think you need those refills. The next one I used to buy all the time, and it was annoying to buy it, but I kept doing it, and it was those nail files, the disposable nail files, the ones that are made out of cardboard or sandpaper. I used to plow through them. It seemed like after 1 or 2 uses, they would become pretty useless. But then many years ago, I discovered that they have metal nail files. The metal ones will last you a lifetime. I will put the one in that I use. Get yourself one for Christmas. Give them as gifts. I've had mine for at least 10 years. It stays sharp all the time. It files your nails really well, and they don't create any waste. And again, you buy it once and you're done. The number 3 one that I think you don't need, and I see a lot of people using these, are the flossers with the handles. I know these are handy. I know that it's maybe easier to floss your teeth, and I'm a big proponent in flossing, but I just think that the ones with the handles, number 1, they're very expensive, right? You kind of go through them every week. You have to rebuy them, but then they're also very wasteful. It's a lot of plastic just for flossing your teeth. Get yourself a spool of floss. This takes up very little space, and it is much more cost effective and a lot less wasteful. I discovered this next one, and I'm going to tell you, you don't need this. You do not need to buy those cans or cardboard containers of broth. And I'm not going to tell you to buy the cubes either. I'm not going to tell you to make your own. I'm going to tell you, get yourself this Better Than Bouillon or something like this. This is literally so simple. You just take a little scoop, put it in your water when you're cooking. You make the broth instantly. This is sort of the concentrated broth. This is a huge one. I got it at Costco. They come in more manageable sizes at the regular grocery store, and they sell all kinds. You know, this one is chicken, this is beef, this is a bone broth. I got this one at Wegmans. These are great. These take up a lot less space. They come in these glass containers. You can store them in your pantry, and then once you open them, put them in your fridge. But it's a lot easier to buy these than it is to keep all of those huge broth containers on hand, in my opinion. So let's do some kitchen items. And one of the things that I see a lot of people buying, and I think you don't need these, are those disposable tins. I'm talking about the ones made from foil, the aluminum ones. And I am putting it in here because I know the holidays are coming up, and I know that the grocery stores are stocked with them, and you're going to see them and you're going to think, I should get some so that I can send my family home with leftovers. Or maybe you're thinking easy cleanup. I'll just tell you what I did. Last year, I went to the thrift store and I stocked up on some glass casserole dishes. So now whenever I have family who come and I want to send them home with leftovers, I simply put the leftovers in the glass casserole dish and I send them home with it. I don't need it back. I got it at the thrift store. It was maybe $4. And I have to tell you, the thrift store prices of those casserole dishes is the same as the aluminum ones that you'll find in the store. Now, cleanup, I can't help you. You're going to have to clean up the casserole dishes. I get it. It's not the best. But at the end of the day, you do end up just having to throw them away. They're single use. While we're talking about things that drain our money and our energy, I'm going to also tell you something else that drains my energy, and that's when I'm not feeling my best. That's why I'm super excited to be partnering with MIDI Health on today's video. I've talked about them before, and they just happened to reach out to me when I was scripting this video, which I was very excited about. MIDI is a virtual women's healthcare clinic, and they're on a mission to bring compassionate, high-quality medical care to women in all stages of life. I've been using MIDI for the last year, and they treat women with all kinds of health conditions. It's anything from, skin issues, perimenopause, menopause, weight, so much more than that. And they've recently expanded now to include longevity care, which is actually really cool. It's for women of all ages who want to manage stress, prevent future health issues, and really just feel more like yourself. The best part is it's all online and it's completely covered by insurance. So all you need to do is you go to their portal, you book your online visit, and then you meet with your clinician and you discuss your symptoms. If you need any blood tests or any medical tests, they'll coordinate that for you. You can go right to your local place and get that done. I started going to them last December. And the reason I actually sought them out is I'm in my late 40s and I had talked to my doctor about perimenopause. And she kind of was a little bit dismissive and didn't really want to talk about it and really just shut the conversation down. So I ended up doing my own research and I did hours and hours of research into it. And I learned that 80% of medical doctors do not get menopause training, which I thought was crazy. So I decided I'm going to go with MIDI. And it's great having an online virtual visit, I will tell you, because you're in your own home, you don't feel rushed, you can write down notes so that you don't forget anything. I always feel weird going to the doctor and then pulling out notes, but when you're at home and virtual, it's a lot easier. And I just felt like my clinician was really listening to me. So I highly recommend them. And honestly, with a new year coming, I think that it is a great time to focus on your health. So I'm going to put a link below. Click on it if you want to book your first visit with MIDI. Okay, this next one, and we're still in the kitchen, and I'm kind of scared to say this one because I know a lot of people love it, but I do not think you need it. And it is the garlic cloves that you buy in a jar ready to use. And actually, they sell them in cloves, but they also sell them as already mashed up. I know it would save a lot of time. I just buy the fresh garlic. I just smack it and use it. I think that the one that's pre-done, I think it loses some nutrients once it gets peeled that way and chopped up, but then it also doesn't last as long. It has preservatives in there. I'd rather just do the fresh one. And you don't have to store a jar in the fridge. I never have fridge space anyway, but literally it's 60 seconds to do the fresh one. And so that's the way I go. The next one, this is number 7. I do not ever use or buy pre-shredded cheese. And I've shared this before, so I won't go into super detail on it, but the pre-shredded cheese, a couple things. It has cellulose in it. It's an anti-caking ingredient, but again, that comes from paper trees. I don't want to eat that. It also does not melt. It just, I have tested this. I've looked into it. It will eventually melt, but it has a very weird consistency, so I don't buy it. Get yourself a very sharp grater. If you don't have a sharp grater, it's probably why you don't like shredding your own cheese. When you have a really nice grater, you can shred your cheese in seconds. And pre-shredded cheese is one of those things that you're kind of paying. It's got a big convenience fee. The next one actually has a large convenience fee attached to it, and I don't buy it. I think that you should not buy it either. It is the pre-packaged oatmeal. You know those little packets that you buy and they're flavored? I think just get yourself a large carton of oats or a large bag of oats and then portion it out yourself. Make your oatmeal with whatever toppings that you like. No need to pay for all that packaging and the pre-measured. And honestly, if you were to go ounce by ounce and compare the pre-packaged one with the bulk, you're paying a lot more for the prepackaged one. It is a big markup. Number 9 is kind of strange, and there's a couple reasons why I don't use it, but I don't know when it became so popular and why we were actually using it in the first place. If you want to let me know why you use it, I'd love to hear, but I don't think you need parchment paper. I have stainless steel pans that I use, and I have glass casserole dishes that I use, and I roast everything in there. and it works perfectly fine. Because either way, you still have to clean your dish, so I'm not really sure what the parchment paper is doing. And I've tried it. I've tried to use it with vegetables, and I put it in there, I roast everything, and I just don't get it. And I'll also say a lot of the parchment paper, if you look on the label, you will see that it is sold as non-stick. So what that means is that they're adding a coating to that parchment paper so that your food doesn't stick to it. I don't know what that coating's made of. You don't know what that coating's made of. They don't have to tell us. So I'm not sure what chemicals are getting into my food. So I just don't use it at all. There are some instances where I will use it, and it's only for things like if I'm wrapping up some cookie dough and I want to put it in the fridge for a couple days, I might wrap it in parchment paper. This is the one I use because it does not have any coating on it. Okay, moving on to beauty items, and this one I've shared a couple years ago. I'll share it again. I stand behind it. Makeup wipes. I have found, again, these are wasteful, they're expensive, but they also don't really work. When I use them, they seem to just push the makeup around on my face, and then I need to wash my face anyway. So I'm kind of just paying for nothing, in my opinion. Number 11, I used to be a nail polish junkie, and I'm still hanging on to some of the colors, but I no longer buy these. There was a period where I was definitely buying these every week, and I was just trying to have new colors, and I loved it. Nowadays, I simply paint my nails in a neutral color. I use the same polish. It's just less expensive when you've got the one going on, because what happens when you buy a lot of the different colors is you're never actually using the whole bottle. You're approaching using it, maybe you use half of it, but then you buy a new one. I know how it goes. So if you stick to the one, you kind of just use it and then you're done. I also stopped buying toners for my skin. I've really pared down my skincare, and I just really don't see what toners were doing for me. I mean, I'm sure in some world they do something good for your skin. I cannot tell, I don't notice, and sometimes I find that when I use fewer skin products, my skin actually looks better. These toners, they just take up space, they create clutter, you never seem to finish them, they're very expensive, and also, speaking of expensive, I'm gonna tell you the next one that I don't use, and I shared this a couple of years ago, and people were so shocked in the comment section telling me I must use this. Eye cream. I don't use eye cream. I think that it's just a bit of a marketing trick. It's a way to sell you this fancy jar of expensive cream. I know that I should put cream there, so don't worry, I do. I just take my regular lotion that I use on my face and then I put it on like it's an eye cream. But listen, I mean, if you use an eye cream and you love it, I just personally don't really see that it's doing anything. But if you're trying to simplify your skincare routine, I'd say start with toner and eye cream as two things you can get rid of. If you enjoy content that helps you simplify your life, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. It's free. Another thing I think is a waste of money is the body scrubs. And the reason I think that these are a waste of money is I never actually see anyone finishing an entire body scrub. I see people buying them, but then they're always half used, and then they sit in your bathroom and they take up a lot of space. If you want to use a body scrub, well, one thing, I use a body brush, that's reusable. I really like doing that. But if you like the scrub idea, you can make one yourself. Just get some sugar or salt, mix it with honey. There's a lot of recipes online. I'll see if I can find one and link it, but it's just a good way to just make it on demand rather than buying those expensive scrubs and having to store them. Also, shaving cream. I have not bought shaving cream in years. My husband has a container of it, but I also just think they're not necessary. You can use soap, shampoo, conditioner, any of those things work just as well. Okay, back to the kitchen. I know this video is all kinds of categories and we've been all over the place, but another thing that I don't buy, and I think it's a waste of your money for sure, is pancake mix. I used to buy these, and it used to be marketed as buttermilk flavor, and I looked at the ingredients list one day. I'm actually gonna put it up just so you can see. This one here is Bisquick, and there's palm oil in here, which I really think is terrible and I try to avoid. There are also industrial oils in here, as you can see, and there's monoglycerides. And those monoglycerides can legally contain small amounts of trans fat without having to be labeled. That's per the FDA. There's also dextrose in here, which is a very processed sugar. It's just not a good mix of ingredients. I'm actually thinking of making a video on the convenience foods that a lot of us like to use and exposing the ingredients that are in them, really just doing a little bit of a dive into the label. Let me know below if you're interested in that, because I will do that if people are interested in it. But back to the pancakes, I just make my own pancake mix. I mean, really, it's just flour, sugar, butter, milk, eggs. You could put a leavening agent in there if you've got some baking soda, and you're good to go. I also stopped buying frozen waffles. We stopped doing this years ago. They were actually taking up a ton of our space in the freezer. But not only that, they're very expensive. The kids loved them. They're sad about it. But you know what? I just make waffles now and I will stick them in the freezer. And if the kids want waffles in the morning, I'll take one out, put it in the toaster, ready to go. And they're even better than the frozen waffles because, again, it's made of fresh ingredients and it doesn't take a lot of time. I also think that this is a waste of money, and I get why it's convenient, but I don't think it's that convenient. Boxed cake mix. If you have not tried to make a cake from scratch, you're going to be shocked when you see that it is not much more difficult than a boxed cake mix. Yes, you have to measure the ingredients, but it's truly, truly one of the simplest things you can put together. And I'm again just going to go back to the ingredients. I'll put this up so you can see. A lot of these are filled with preservatives and junk and food coloring. This one here is from Betty Crocker and it's a vanilla cake mix. And there's 2 types of food dye in there, in addition to a number of other things that you really don't want to ingest. Okay, moving along to the next one. This is that I don't think you need to buy, and this is individually wrapped snacks. I have taken a hard stance on this, and I think I've talked about this before because I did get some comments saying that you need to buy the individually wrapped snacks because your food will go stale otherwise. I don't seem to have that problem. If you have that problem, I get it, but I simply buy the big containers of something and then I will pre-portion it out, whether it's for the kids' snacks at school or whatever it is. I know that individually wrapped snacks can be convenient and useful, but they're also highly marked up in price. It's just a lot of packaging that I'd prefer not to deal with. The next thing I don't buy are the travel-sized little medication bottles. So, for example, if you need Advil or something like that, they will sell the small bottles. I used to buy those, and what I've done is I've saved the bottles, and now I only buy the bigger bottles, and then if I need a smaller bottle, say I want to keep one in my purse or take it traveling with me, I just transfer it into the small bottle. But I don't buy the small ones anymore. Again, those are marked up and I just prefer to get the larger ones that I can then use over time. Okay guys, those are my 20 items that I don't think you need. I think they're a waste of money. I think they're causing clutter. If you want to see my part 1, if you missed it, I'm going to link it up here and you can check that out. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.